There's this item from the new high school pack that I am obsessed with, but I haven't used it yet. It just keeps not matching and like not fitting into my builds. I'm talking about this swatch of this ottoman from high school years. I think this is like the most beautiful item in the entirety of The Sims 4. I just love the pattern on this so much. And I think I want to try and build an entire house inspired by this ottoman. Like the color scheme, the pattern, it's just so pretty. And I feel like this is reasonable inspiration for a Sims build. To be honest, I haven't really given much thought to the exterior of this. I've just been kind of like daydreaming about the interior with this ottoman. But I guess like the greens and yellows are kind of the vibe that we're going for. I'm just gonna wing it. I feel like it usually works out when I do. I also don't really know how big I want this house to be. Again, this is not something that I had really given much thought to. I really just was thinking about the ottoman. I feel like it's probably just gonna be like one story. Like I don't really imagine this being a huge house, but maybe we could sneak a second floor up there. It won't be a big one, but we could have like an attic or something. All right, so is that ugly? I'm not really sure. Maybe if this comes out a little bit further. It needs like some more dimension. I also made these like shorter. Maybe I should put them back to being tall because the roof is kind of tall now. And then what if we shrunk it a tiny bit? I'm just thinking about like where the columns are gonna go. And this way we can have just two of them. Okay, it's kind of a weird shape because of this like front porch thing, but I feel like this is okay. I think it looks nice. It looks like every house I ever build, but it's a good method. I mean, it works. It usually makes for a cute house. Oh God, we have to like shrink some of this a little. We do not want to have this clipping this much. I don't really think that I want to do anything really fancy on the back. I almost want to wait until we do the floor plan to figure out like where the dormer would go on the back, but that's probably a bad idea. But honestly, I'm kind of just thinking we'll do like a really small little dormer back there, have a back door on this side, and then just have that be the whole back of the house. Let's talk floor plan for a second because I think I want to have the front door like right here, and then like I said, a back door over there. I'll probably pick a different door, but just for now, we'll leave that. And we're gonna need a staircase upstairs, which I'm really not sure about. Maybe if we had it facing this way. Well, no, hang on. That could actually be good because there could be like a bathroom right here and then a pretty big bedroom. And then both these rooms will have windows. I feel like that's actually pretty nice. And then we could probably close this off and that could be like an extra bedroom. Maybe that could become a bathroom. This is kind of weird. I guess thinking about it now, it's a little bit odd of a layout. The stairs are just in kind of a weird spot. Like it's just hard to do something with this area. We need to have a full kitchen, living, and dining space. So I don't really know where to put those. I do think that having like a slight hallway kind of helps in this space. I don't really know what's gonna go over here. And I could put the door there. I just hate how that looks. Like I hate how it looks in the corner. I never ever want to put doors in like the one tile wide spaces because I hate how it like clips a little, you know? Like it's just so annoying. If it was just slightly off, like if it was right there, it'd be fine, but obviously it's not because we've got the stairs there. I guess this could just all be open. We don't need to like block it off into hallways. I think the thing that bothers me about it is the fact that like there's a very obvious gap with the wall. Like this has always bugged me a lot, but that's just, there's no way around that. That's just like how The Sims 4 works. We could probably try and stick a column in there or something to hide it. I also hate how that rail is clipping. You know what? Staircases and their railings and like everything about them is very annoying to me. So maybe I'll just pretend it's not happening. Let's just forget that. I'm just gonna put some like random furniture in here just to kind of like fill in the space so I can figure out the scale of it a little bit better. But I'm sort of picturing we could have like the kitchen over here. We could probably have like a little island coming out from it. We'll do living room over here facing like a TV on this wall. And then there could be a dining table like right here in this area. And then it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, which is actually not that good. It's kind of big and somehow kind of small at the same time. But I feel like this is a nice, reasonable layout. I think it makes sense. And then somehow the ottoman is gonna fit right in. It's gonna match everything. It's gonna be beautiful. Oh my gosh, hang on. Imagine if we had like the yellow swatch of this chair. Okay, this furniture is not gonna stay, by the way. This is just like so I could think about the space. Let's put some windows in really fast because we kind of need those. I think I'm kind of leaning towards the cats and dogs windows. I'm not sure if I like that circle one or not, actually. Maybe I'll put this one instead. I don't know. I need to think about it. But I feel like these are nice. They're just pretty. They're big. Oh, that's gonna be the kitchen. So is that actually gonna fit? Maybe I'll do a smaller one. Okay, we will not have any cabinets on that wall. There just won't be any. Apparently there also won't be a sink centered on this wall. Oh God. This is the problem. I always want like everything to be centered, but the scale of this is not good for that. I'm gonna come back to that. I don't want to think about it right now. I'm just gonna do everything else first. Maybe it needs to be a square window. Like just a little, that's probably better better actually. We'll get a nice big window right there. We'll put some pretty windows right there, maybe some in the back. I guess I didn't really think about what those back windows would look like because the house doesn't really fit them. Oh, we can have that one upstairs and this one right here. Okay, and then in the back, it'd be nice to have like one window in the bathroom and then a window there, obviously. But if I center that, where is it? Okay, I guess I kind of wish there was like maybe a little bit more going on with it. Maybe we could try and do something. Wait, what if we had like a built-in desk nook or something right here? It's gonna be kind of wide, but we could try and make this into like a proper office space. We'll do like a computer, we can use like a desk, something like that maybe, and then we'll just, you know, scoot over the rest of the furniture. Then what goes over here? Like now this wall is kind of blank. I don't know. We'll think about that. Let's work on the exterior more though, because I keep going back and forth. Do you think having a green roof is like too much, or is it cool? Because I feel like it's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm really struggling with what I think this should look like. I feel like it needs to have like a more substantial wall color, but I don't know, maybe we could do the yellow. The house is gonna be really colorful on the inside, so it might be nice to have like the bright yellow walls. We'll change the roof if we do yellow, don't worry, but I think the yellow could be kind of cute. Why does that swatch look like so off? I always use this one, I know. I love the color of this brown on the roof. I think it's such a nice color. So many of them, I just, like this looks like weird and faded to me. I just love the like richness of this one. I wonder if we could do any sort of like accent colors. Like, what do you think about having some shingles or something? I don't think I like those swatches. Ooh, that is a nice color. Maybe I'll do an entire house based on that swatch next. I'm just staring at it, trying to decide if I like it or not, and I think I like it. I think I'm gonna keep this. Oh, imagine if we use these Give Famous flower boxes. That is so pretty. I feel like that really helps. I think that really makes it look a little bit more cutesy, like we're going for. I forgot about the front door. Hang on, I meant to change that. I forgot to. I'm gonna use this cats and dogs front door. I know it clips like the tiniest bit, but to be honest, I just don't care. And I think it looks so good. So I'm gonna use that in both the front and the back, I think, because it fills up the wall, it matches the windows. It only clips a little bit. Like you can't really tell when you're looking at it like this, so we'll pick that one. Should we do, oh, where did my staircase go? Oh, I made the walls taller. That makes sense. I understand. I don't know what color floors to pick. I feel like I want a light-ish wood, but I don't think I like how uniform this one is. Also, I'm just gonna get rid of this furniture now because I know I'm not gonna use it. It's not the vibes. I do like this one. This one is from Island Living. Ooh, what about like the really light color? I never use that. Although there's gonna be a lot of like gold sort of accents places, so I don't know if it needs to be a bit warmer. Like if it was something like this, would that be better? Or I could stop trying to use random packs and then do something like from the base game. That might be better. No. Cats and dogs. Oh, you know what? This like yellowy toned wood, because the house is quite yellowy toned, in case you hadn't noticed. That might be nice. And then we could put like the white painted wood on the decks. All right, I feel like that's pretty good. Now for cabinets, I know I'm using Dream Home Decorator. I just don't know which color yet because I really like the idea of the green, but I also feel like this green isn't really the same vibes as our ottoman. So maybe I'll go for yellow and then add in green in other ways. I'm serious, these yellow cabinets are like my favorite thing that has ever been added to The Sims 4. I love the yellow swatch so much. I also really want to center the sink. I know this is silly, but I'm really wanting to like overlap the cabinets a little bit just so I can have a centered sink. If I alt place it well enough. Oh, I guess that's pretty bad because there's a hole. Oh no. Well, maybe we could have like the full cabinet there and that one could be clipping in the corner because that's not as noticeable. It's pretty noticeable over here. It's kind of annoying. What happens if I put a dishwasher? Oh, the dishwasher helps with the clipping and then a sink there. And then if you just don't look at that too closely, maybe it won't bug you. It bugs me, but maybe if we just like, you know, try not to think about it, zoom out, maybe it's fine. I want the sink to be centered, like really badly. I'm sorry, I know I have picked extremely expensive appliances, but they're beautiful and they're gonna look nice with my cabinets. And if I'm being honest, that is all that I care about is that they look nice with my cabinets. I don't love this. Like, I wish that the fridges filled in the space better. I hate how there's gaps, but maybe if I put a wall there, it'll be okay. I didn't really think about the multiple shades of yellow, to be honest, because now I feel like this chair is really out of place. Well, that's not my problem and I can't do anything to fix it, so I'm just gonna not care. I'm just gonna put whatever I want down. I'm not really sure about color scheme. I do love that, but that's just not gonna work for this room. I think that's really nice though. No, not that rug. How about this one? Oh, the dark green. Would that be good underneath the couch? Is there perhaps oh, that might be nice for this kid's room. I'm not really sure about how to tie these together, to be honest. Maybe we could use this one over here. Is this too many fuzzy rugs? Like, at what point have you crossed the line into having too many fuzzy rugs? To me, that is a little bit bland, and I almost want to have like a pattern underneath it. Like one plain rug, one patterned rug. Ooh, what do you think about that? That's actually kind of interesting. I'm not sure if the color of the chairs really works anymore. I could probably try and use those somewhere else though. And we could go for like the lighter yellow on the chairs, because that ties in the cabinets better. The thing is, I feel like color scheme wise this kind of matches, but like style wise it doesn't. I like the rug. I'm really having a hard time thinking about those two things together. I don't even know where I'm gonna put the ottoman. That's the thing. I'm basing the entire house off the ottoman. I don't even know where it's gonna go. Oh, that's a beautiful couch. I think that ties everything together pretty well too. I'm kind of struggling with an accent chair. I'm not really sure what to pick. I wonder if this tiny living chair would be good as like the accent chair because it has the yellow pillow. I think I need a different coffee table though. Is glass good or should it be more wooden? Because we have the wooden dining table. I wonder if that one from Dream Home Decorator could be good because it's kind of an interesting shape. We can also then use like some other pieces that kind of match it a little bit better, like the bookshelf to build it up a little. And maybe we could put a window. That's gonna look bad from the outside, but I don't really care. I think that maybe a window might be a nice touch. Or we could do art or something. This is a weird house. I really don't know what I'm going for, to be honest. I'm very unsure of this. Okay, maybe a back door in the middle actually would be a good thing because I'm not really sure what else to put. And I think that the door would help like split up the space. Although I don't know how I'm gonna fill in this backyard. I don't know what this backyard is supposed to be. Like, do I just put a really big porch? There could be like a patio space there too. I kind of hate the back. I like the inside, but I kind of hate the back. I think we could also probably get a smaller desk now, which might help. Okay, let's start thinking about wallpapers for a second because most of the furniture is in. I'm still a little bit unsure about some of it, but I feel like once we get some wallpaper in, it'll start looking better. Oh, that tile is interesting, but I don't think it looks good with the cabinets, right? Like that just looks weird. That does kind of match the vibes though, but maybe we could do that tile in the bathrooms because that's kind of fun. We could always do something like more simple, but also kind of cutesy in the kitchen. This one has some blue in it. It's a different sort of blue than the blue we've got everywhere else. Oh, maybe what I'm learning is that I'm not good at decorating things that are trendy. Okay, so really quick, I want to try and clutter up the kitchen a little bit because obviously we know that these cabinets clip a little. And so I want to put some stuff on them. One, to make them less noticeable. So you look at the top of the cabinets and not the bottom where it's clipping. But also so your Sims don't try and use those cabinets. Like I want to put some like plants here or something. They can use the other counters to prepare food, right? They don't need to use this one. You know what? I might even get a fire alarm. I don't usually bother with those, but maybe today I'm feeling safe and I want to have a fire alarm. Okay, this is like an off-white and none of the tile matches it. I didn't really think about that part. But you see how it's like kind of creamy? They gave us this tile, but even then, I don't really think that this tile matched. Like, oh my God. We have the linoleum. Is that too dark? Or is it okay? I think that actually is better. Never mind. Okay, false alarm. It matches. I think I'll put a tub up here because we have a shower downstairs. I probably shouldn't do like a singular tub. It should be like a shower tub combo, but there's a window there and it's kind of throwing me off, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. What about that base game leaf wall? Is that like absolutely ridiculous or is it kind of cool? I'm really struggling to figure out at what point it's too much. And I feel like it's leaning a little bit towards too much, but it is very similar vibes, you got to admit. So that's interesting. Maybe I can use it. Maybe it's fine. I think I like it. I might give myself a few little bits of like green stuff. Like maybe this wall could be green, this wall could be green. And then we could probably paint a lot of the other walls white, especially these like plain little random ones. Maybe that one could be brick just to have a little bit of texture. Is that like super random though? Because there's no brick anywhere else in the house. This is what I'm not sure about. I always struggle so much because of this. Like it's why I always leave the painting of the walls till the very end. I just genuinely struggle so much to make it look good. I think it's okay. I think that's nice. Oh, I forgot to paint this wall. That's my bad, sorry. All right, there we go. I think that is nice. We could maybe even get a window, right? No, that looks weird. Never mind, sorry. See, I think that hallway looks really good together. I think that's really cute. Okay, but now I gotta do the bedroom, which is like the main star of the show because that's where I'm gonna put the ottoman. And it has to look good because that is the entire point of this build. What if we had a white bed? I know that might be a weird thing to say, but I like that it's got the gold and I like that it ties in some of the like white from the flowers. And then we could probably use a lot of other color on the walls and in the rug and stuff. Oh my god, there's a floral swatch on this too. It's a different shade, but there's also floral on this. That's interesting. Maybe that'll be for the next build. We could probably use this white dresser. I guess I didn't really think about those. That's kind of cool. Although, does this come in like a blue? Of course it's a different color. But what if we use those nightstands? White bed, but teal nightstands. I wouldn't usually go for something like that, but I think it looks kind of good. We're gonna have to use a sort of small rug though, which is annoying because I'm not really sure about how it'll fit. I guess this round one might actually work, but it's gonna need to be a different color. That's too much. That's way too much. Oh no, that's not good. I don't like that. I don't like those swatches. Yeah, okay, that won't work. What about that base game square rug that I always use? Does that one match the swatches at all? I mean, it's a bit big for this area. I usually would prefer there's like more space on the walls. I think it might need to be yellow, but then a lot of the yellow rugs are like really bright or like really patterned, and I want this pattern to be the main one. See, that's just not the vibes. That's way too much. Well, okay, hang on. Maybe if we did use the fuzzy rug in the yellow, but we had a lot of the green on the walls. No, that does not look good. That looks actually quite terrible now that I think about it. Yikes. This is kind of starting to grow on me, but I do feel like it needs some more of the dark green. I'm just not sure if like painting all of the walls the dark green is the move, because the green kind of clashes with the nightstands and I like the nightstands. Okay, see, like for example, I love this little desk, but every color in this room is now like that color. So I feel like maybe if we did the darker swatch, and what if we had the yellow chair to go along with it? Maybe, I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, maybe my downfall was thinking that I could match an entire house's color scheme to this. Maybe this was my problem. Does the room need white? Maybe if there was some white walls in here? No, because it has the white bed. I've painted every wall a different color. I feel like the room needs to be smaller. I feel like that maybe is part of my problem. I like need some more shape to it or something. It needs like some more detail that I can go off of, because I actually think that just helped. I feel like that made the room look more interesting. The colors are better. There's like little nooks that I can put paintings on. You know what? I kind of like that. I think it's cute. Here's what I've got so far in the kids' room. I think it's kind of coming together pretty cute. I like the color scheme, although I'm not sure if it's good or not, because the black rug with the white furniture, I don't know. I feel like today's build is not my finest. I'm trying, I really am. I don't think we can put a doormat. I feel like it's too close to the other rugs. Like, I think that's too much, but I don't really know how else to define the entrance. Because even like this shelf, I'd use this, but it doesn't really fit. There's not really a lot of space here. The mirrors all look too big. Like maybe if we just did a curtain or something to kind of like make the space smaller, and we could put the thermostat next to it. I don't know. There you go. Thermostat, plant, umbrellas. That's the entryway. That's the interior of the house done, but now we have to figure out the whole exterior. All right, I've kind of started putting down a little bit of landscaping. I feel like this is a nice start, although I definitely want to add in some more like gameplay type of items, like maybe a little garden over here. I should probably put a trash can before I forget. And while we're on that, let's do a mailbox too. I guess we should probably use those flower boxes as maybe a bit of an inspiration for the colors of the plants, because these flower boxes have like loads of purple, pink, and white flowers in them. So I should probably try and go off of that, considering that's like the main color in the exterior right now. Okay, I might put a little bike too, just to have like something else to look at. And that can come in like a pretty blue color. I'll put some lights on the front and the back. Maybe if we had like a telescope on this little patio, and maybe this one could just have like some seating or something. And then I guess maybe this one could have like some seating or something like more simple. I don't like it. I don't like the seating, never mind. that. What other sort of stuff do we have? I guess we could do like a little fire pit, but I don't love the colors on this. And I don't really want to use one of the kits. Like I've done so well to not use a kit anywhere in this build. So I love this one, but maybe I should swap it so the table is up there. And then down here could be like, no, wait, put it back. Idea. Chess table. There we go. That's more like it. That feels natural to me. And maybe there could be just like a couple more little planter boxes or something, like just something simple in the corner. I wonder if we could use that plant swatch of the little doormat. And there you go. There's like room to grow out here. I'm just gonna go around and like finish up some terrain paint, and then I think the house is done. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything urgent. There's a trash can inside. We've got a trash can outside, mailbox, thermostat. I even put a fire alarm, and I don't usually do that. Usually I embrace the fire. So I think we've covered all the bases here. Okay, I think that can be the house finished. Built this whole thing thinking it was gonna be inspired by a green ottoman, and somehow it's like yellow and purple on the outside, but at least the inside is the right vibes. I will stick that on the gallery in case you wanna download it. And you know what? I think I'm proud of this. It's definitely different than what I usually do. I don't love the rugs in here, but I was trying to use the high school years ones, and I feel like at the end of the day, it looks all right. If you like watching build videos in The Sims, I do a lot of them, like almost every day on YouTube, so feel free to subscribe. And stay tuned for that entire build inspired by that one wall from Get Famous, because I think I might actually do that. That's gonna be a way different vibe. I'm thinking like dark tones, lots of wood inside. I feel like that's gonna be pretty. But on that note, I'm gonna go, so thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. You know what? One of these days I'm gonna need to figure out a different way to landscape, because I have this method and it works, and so I always use it, but let's be honest, I really probably should branch out.